Welcome to our webinar. My name is Yuna and I'm happy to introduce you Anime Peters. She is Associate Director of Full-Time MBA and Master's Programs in ESADE Business School. Now I'd like to turn it over to Anime Peters. Anime?
Yes.
Yes. Please welcome.
Thank you so much. I'll turn out well. There you go. Here you go. Perfect. And thank you so much, Yuna, for the introduction. And of course, thank you for to all of you for attending this webinar. I'm here in Barcelona, so ESADE is based in Barcelona, and I can see that it's a sunny day outside, so I'm sending you sunny greetings from Barcelona to all of you. And so we will start with some information about the ESADE MBA program. Juna, if you can put the next slide, please. Okay, that's me, you know. I'm Annemie Peters again, and I'm the Associate Director of Admissions. So my main job here at ESADE is to recruit the MBA students for the full-time MBA program. Next slide, please. So I assume that you want to do an MBA sooner or later, maybe this year, maybe the following year. And so why do people go for an MBA program? Some of the students actually what they want is to really look for a boost in their professional career. They really want to make that jump to getting a better position, more responsibility, and of course also a better salary in this case. Some of the students, they want to change of sector. They're not happy with where they are, and they really need the knowledge of an MBA to really switch and be able to switch sector or even also geography. Okay? Some of the students, they just want to enhance their personal and professional growth, which is of course also a good opportunity meanwhile doing the MBA. And at the same time to increase your network. At ESADE we have a huge let's say alumni network. So this is really the chance to to build relationships throughout the MBA. So what ESADE is what the ESADE MBA is all about is we foster a collaborative learning environment. We give you also exposure to top companies. We will talk about that later. Lots of companies come and recruit to ESADE. And of course, the program is an incredible opportunity to tailor-made your own program. You can really focus your MBA towards the interests that you personally have and the goals that you want to achieve. And of course, ESADE is very well known for diverse class, and that is not only in nationality, it's also a question of professional and personal experience. Yes, next slide, please. So let's really briefly talk about the application and the admissions process. So at ESADE, we have the online application where we will ask for fill it out. There are some essay questions that you will have to answer, and then there will be certain documents that you have to send us, like the bachelor's degree transcripts, 2 recommendation letters, and passports and photocopies. And then maybe the hassle or the most, the most complicated part of the application can be the GMAT or the GRE, and also TOEFL, unless you have a bachelor degree of an English-speaking degree or university. What I wanted to say about the GMAT or the GRE or TOEFL, it's a question of it's a question of preparation. So it's maybe the part where you will have to work on first, because it not really depends on you, it depends on the dates that they can give you. If anybody has a question about GMAT or GRE, I'll be able to, more than happy to answer questions at the end of this webinar. Yes, next slide, please, Yuna. So then, of course, it is a part of the official interview, which is the admissions interview, which we can conduct, of course, on campus. If you can come, that would be fantastic, and we could also organize for you a special day. Then we have also admissions directors. We travel around the world, so that's also an opportunity. Now at this stage, let's say now we are already in May, we can, of course, do all Skype interviews just to really kind of make the whole process, the admissions process, more agile now at this time of the year. Okay. Next slide. And I'm saying that, the reason why we do these Skype interviews is because, of course, we're not yet at the end of the admissions process, but kind of almost. We're kind of 2-3 deadlines to go. And in the case for people who need a student visa, it is definitely a priority that you take as a last deadline, the 16th of June. It is important since afterwards you have like lots of paperwork to do, and that takes time. So we have still for you like 2 more deadlines to go. Okay, next slide. And that's also an important part, which is the financial aid. We have a financial aid department, and all our students, we have available the loan program with our partner, Bank Sabadell, and it covers 100% from of the tuition fees. On the other hand, we also have the MBA scholarships, and they cover up to 40% of the full-time MBA tuition fees. So there are 2 kinds of scholarships. One are the talent-based scholarships, where you will find leadership scholarships, scholarships for women in business. We have kind of different scholarships available, and of course the other ones are called the need-based scholarships, where of course you will have to send us a little bit more of documents in order to prove that you really need a scholarship in order to come to Barcelona. Okay. Yes, Yuna, next slide, please. And of course, so before you start the MBA, you will be arriving to Barcelona. I don't know if you're all very familiar to the city, but it's of course a sunny Mediterranean city with, you have the seaside very close, you have the mountains very close. It is of course one of the cosmopolitan cities of Europe. You have the harbor, so there is trade and transport for Western Europe. And of course, we will learn Spanish. Spanish is one of the, I believe it's the second, or maybe not, maybe it's the second or the third world language in this very moment. But definitely with Spanish, it's a language that will bring you far around the world. So, next slide, Yuna, please. So this is a kind of a first day of an MBA class. So you have the collaboration learning, you have the small size of the classes. We kind of admit 150 students. We have 3 sections, and so each section would be 50 students. And then you have that chance to personalize your MBA, and that's something that we will see like in a few slides. Next slide, Yuna, please. So this is kind of a picture of what you will find in the coming September. So you have nationality-wise 48 different nationalities. The average is, we average age is 28, and the average work experience is about 5.2 but it's like 4 or 5 years. And so we have 29% female students and 95 international students. So it's we kind of mention the female students because we see that, you know, like in lots of MBAs, male students are still there, but women are getting there. So we just mention it, and also some people, they want to know. So therefore we put that information there. Yes, next slide, please. And here we go. This is really the full picture of what the MBA is like. I would say that ESADE has a very practical MBA, and in fact, I say give you two things. One thing is that we give you the knowledge. So that would be like all the technical learning in terms of you know, the general management, the global context, the business context. So really do that term one, understanding the context in the company. So that would be, of course, the knowledge that we will be giving you. The second term, it's about decision making, and term 3 is about executing and managing growth. So it's also about sustainability. So these three, the academic content is really the knowledge that you will get. And then I say that you will get the action, because throughout the program, you will put everything into action. You have the action learning program, which is a program where you will act as a consultant. So international companies come to ESADE and recruit the students so that you can work on a real consulting project. On the other hand, you have also the business labs. We have different business labs. We have the entrepreneurial business lab, the Latin American business lab. We have the marketing business lab and finance business lab. So we have all these, you know, these two other activities where you will put everything into action and give you that real and realistic learning perspective. Then the third thing is also about, you know, being, because who are you as a leader, and therefore you will see that transversally you have the leadership program, where you will be learning about how to lead yourself, which is important, and also how you can lead others. You know, there is a big difference between managing people and leading people. So this is really a program that lots of students, they benefit from. You know? And then, of course, you also have the international tracks. That's more during the terms 4 and 5, where you will get the specialization, where you can specialize in the field or sector that you would like to work in, but definitely you can specialize in the field that you're most interested in. Okay. Next slide, Juna. So here you see when we talk about the duration. So flexible is also in the sense of duration of the program. You can do the program in 12 months, in 15 months, and in 18 months. I would say that for 12 months, it's more about the profile of students is somebody who has been sponsored by the company, needs the MBA in order to get a promotion. So the student in question does the MBA, and then afterwards he directly or she directly goes back to the company. The 15-month program really gives you an extra opportunity to, first of all, do the corporate internship at the end of let's say at the end of June, July, okay, or, and here's where you have to make a choice. Or you can go on exchange. ESADE has lots of, you know, we have agreements with lots of the business schools. We will get into that after in a sec, where you can go on exchange. And then you have the 18-month program, where you will have almost, let's say, the whole or the wide variety of, you know, of opportunities and possibilities in terms of you can go on exchange, you can go for the corporate internship. So it's really the full program that you get. Okay. What else did I wanted to mention about that? I think that implicit. Okay, next slide, please. So meeting your team. So as I said in the very beginning, we really foster the teamwork. We will be working on projects. It's here we move from the I to the we. So we really believe and truly believe that students working in teams, you will get much further than when you're doing it alone. So this is really an important fact that we really want to foster during the whole program. So as you said, like 80%, as I said, 80% of the work is done in groups, and of course, you know, you don't choose the people with whom you will work with, so that's done by the management. So it's really important to learn to work with each other. Right? That's like a challenge. Apart from the teamwork and the project to be done, it's a challenge to you know, to also confront maybe some conflicts or disagreements and things like that. Okay, next slide. And here we come back to the exchange. So we have these partner schools, and as you can see, it's they're around the world. So we have, let's say, even as there's 1/3 of the students who go on exchange, and people can go on exchange in terms of really, I would say, choosing the best business school in terms of speciality. Like if somebody is very specialized in or wants to get more into finance or marketing, you can choose one of these schools that are also very specialized in that. Okay. Next slide, please, Yuna. So here are the names of certain schools. Here you see like most of them in the United States, also in Europe, in Canada as well, even in Africa, the University of Cape Town, in Asia, of course, Shanghai, which is also one of the very good schools, and as well as schools that we have in Latin America, and even in Oceania. So, next slide, please. Okay, so here we enter a little bit into the corporate internship. As I mentioned before, only for those of you who want to go for the corporate internship, you will have to choose the duration of the program, which can be the 15-month program or the 18-month program. Let's say that kind of corporate internship is normally a 3-month window from June to August. It depends on the project, it depends on the company, and also the geography, how long the project will last. So it can be, normally it's about 8 to 10 weeks. And of course, the corporate internship is something that will give you the opportunity for a later full-time position, because you will have the chance to really, you know, show who you are, how you work, and of course also the company. You know, you can have a feel of whether this company is really the place where you want to work. And the corporate internship is something that you can get from with the support from career services, and it is optional, as I mentioned. And we will get into the next slide when I talk about career services, because they're really the people who kind of help you in terms of how to get a corporate internship. Okay. So career services is the department that is, I would say, divided into 2 business units. We have like one, I would say, certain people of the career services department, they are really into the, I would say, more the counseling part, the coaching part, kind of orientate you and accompany you throughout the whole MBA program. On the other hand, you have the people who are really the business developers. They are the ones who contact the companies and make them come to ESADE to recruit the students. So career services is somebody who really, you know, from day one, they are there with you, and you as a student, you get one career services professional assigned, plus also one person of the MBA program. meaning that they will help you in defining together with you your career path, what could be, what are you good at, what is that you really want to, if you want to go into maybe fashion industry or sports industry, or they really help you clarify ideas and how to put together. Okay. And of course, they also help you with the leadership program and with the Action Learning Consultancy project. That's the consulting project that I mentioned before. And they are also the ones who invite the companies to come to ESADE and to recruit MBA students. Yeah. Next slide, please, Yuna. So here are some companies who come and recruit at ESADE. And you see there are the typical sectors, I would say. We have the consulting and finance, and then all the rest what is not consulting and finance, we put it into industry. These are the companies that come and recruit, although there are also smaller companies, and even on the ESADE campus we have the ESADE Creapolis, which is part of the building where of the university, where lots of startups have their offices, and also some innovation and development departments are there from big companies. They are here in ESADE Creapolis. So we're not only talking about big multinationals, we're also talking about smaller companies. Okay? And even yes, next slide, please. And then, of course, it's all about you willing to make the most out of the program. I always tell people, ESADE is looking for proactive students, students who really want to make things happen. You come here to learn, and we give you all the tools, but in the end, you're the one who has to put it all together and make the most out of it. So you have the MBA ASA, which is the Mbasa that we call. It's the MBA, the Student Association. We have, of course, also sectorial clubs. You get the language certificates. We didn't talk about the Spanish, but you will have Spanish throughout the whole MBA program. The first term is mandatory, and as of the second term, you kind of it's free, so you're not obliged to learn Spanish, but of course, it's always a good opportunity. Then we get back. We mentioned also the international tracks that kind of go together with the labs, because if you go to the if you're in the finance lab, you can get into specific courses, and you can also they organize international tracks, such as going to the UK, to London, visit all the investment banking companies, and even also meet key people there. Okay. Yes, next slide, please, Yuna. And of course, we here have like the graduation day. Yeah, next slide. And of course, this is about getting your new job. So here we have like some statistics. I think that these statistics are from last year. So if possible, yeah, from 2012. I do believe that on the website we have already the 2013 information. So it's also maybe worthwhile to go through. Of course, these kind of information depends. Every year it can be a little bit different. But anyway, it's a good way to to learn about where do people go after graduation. Okay. Next slide, please. And that's also part of the the graduation class. We'll just skip over this one as well. And then we come to the networking that we talked about, the alumni network. We have there are like 47,000 students worldwide. We have 33 international chapters, and we organize events and of course lots of opportunities for networking. In certain regions, we are still kind of working on it, so it's kind of something that we build on bit by bit. But definitely, we're very into creating community, and that's one of the most important missions that ESADE has as a business school. Yes, next slide, please. Okay, so and this is your time. I hope that you got like a good overview of what the MBA at ESADE is all about. And so if you have any questions, feel free to type them, and I will answer them as I put there. I will answer them orally. Okay. So I have one question about the average cost of accommodation. We normally, we say normally it will cost you about 1,000 euros a month, including rent and and the other, and of course living costs at a whole. But I would say you can live with 800 euros, as of course you can live with 1,200 euros. So it really depends on your lifestyle. When is the best period for a candidate to apply? Of course, I would say apply the sooner the better. Nevertheless, we are now in with 2 more deadlines to go, and I would say give it a shot if you're really into. If it is important for you to start the MBA this coming fall, 2014, just give it a shot. Go and send the application, apply for the scholarship, and just give it a go. If you think about 2015, I would say you're free to send the application as of September. So maybe you can go for, I don't know, I would say November, something like that. That would be for me like a very reasonable deadline. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, the average age of students. It's some number. The average age is about 28. But of course, we have people of 25, and we have people of maybe 32. And what is important for us is that we have a diverse class and people who can contribute to the class, who have rich experiences. They can contribute with their own way of authenticity and professional and personal identity. So sometimes an age is a little bit flexible, but therefore, average, it's I would say it's 28. Oh yes, that's a good question because I didn't put that in the webinar, in the slides. And the cost, the full tuition fees of the full-time MBA program is 59,700. So let's call it 60,000 euros. But really, kind of, I strongly encourage you to go for the loan program and the scholarship. And ESADE is also one of the schools that we know that there is a lot of talent outside, and we really prefer to give more students maybe a less amount of scholarship compared to one student get the 100% of scholarship. Okay. The opportunities are, when you finish the MBA, it's really kind of sort of finalizing what you're doing throughout the whole 1.5 years. Why do I say that? It's because as soon as you start the MBA, you work with career services in terms of what you want to do after the MBA. And so career opportunities, there's plenty. You can get into consulting, you can get into into industry. You can get into the finance if that's what you want. So there are plenty of opportunities. Of course, they really depend on what you want to do and what kind of background that you have, and what is it that you really want to achieve. You know? But it's plenty of opportunities indeed. I hope that I answered your question. Okay. Right. I believe I saw maybe how many years of professional experience. Yeah, I would say I believe that we mentioned on one of the slides, we talked about 5 years. The minimum is 2 years. So students with a minimum of 2 years full-time work experience, it must be full-time work experience. That's like really the minimum to be admitted to the program. But as I said, the average is about, it can be, I think it's now this year, about a 3.5. That would be the average. The salary depends a little bit on where you go to. Of course, if you go to finance, it's and depending on where, there are so many different factors. But I believe, and I'm just looking into the information that I had, and I brought from this year, just to kind of give you a real kind of more concrete answer. And the monthly remuneration, yeah, internship by jobs. Let me see, that's the summer internship, so that's a different thing. Because here, yeah, I would say maybe it can be like it can be like maybe 22% in consulting. That's what I think it is, and an 80% in finance. That's the employment and salary by sector. That's a little bit how it goes. I can definitely send it to you, as I mentioned to you before. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Here you have like a 68% of average salary increase. That's the one. Like a pre-MBA would be 42,000, and the post-MBA would be like a 71,000. Okay. I can send that information to you afterwards. I suppose there are any more questions. How many years of work experience have teachers in ESADE? Wow, that's okay. Faculty, we have wow, I have no clue, honestly. And I'm just thinking, we have faculty with, I believe, it must be like minimum. They have a PhD degrees. They've been trained and maybe even they taught maybe even in other business schools. I think it's an average of maybe 15 years, 10 to 15 years, something like that. But it's a guess. Just gonna write that, write that question down. I have no clue what it really is. My guess is like about like 10, 15 years. That would be like the average work experience. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right. I suppose that we can. I will talk with you now, but I suppose that we can share that with you. I'm I would say yes. I will have to talk to Daryl, just in case. Okay, Nastya? Nastya, that's your name? Okay. Okay. More than welcome. Okay. Any other questions? I don't know whether somebody is still writing. You have a very good mood. Thank you. It is lovely I like to do webinars and talk to the people, you know. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Okay. So I suppose no further questions. And we say bye-bye. And thank you for being here. And we remain in touch somehow. For any further questions, let me know. All right? Thanks for listening and thanks for being here. Bye-bye.